Yo, what's good? It's Red back with another video. So there's three types of knowledge: book knowledge, experience knowledge, and spiritual knowledge. Now, let me just break it down real briefly. Book knowledge is the stuff that you read in books, stuff that you taught in school, all that. Experience knowledge, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the stuff that you go through, something that you've personally been through, so that when you talk about it, people can really hear the conviction in your voice, and you have something to actually validate what you went through. It's not just words written on a paper. It's an actual real life experience. Now, spiritual knowledge is intuition. Now, all of these types of knowledge is basically what forms a human being to become the person that they're going to become. We learn all of these types of knowledge from the people that were around, from school, from self-research, all of that. So if you're trying to really expand your mind and expand your knowledge, believe it or not, book knowledge is the least effective form of knowledge for somebody trying to expand their mind. And it's because the scholastic system isn't meant to teach somebody how to be, let's say, financially free or to think for themselves. That's why you have to cite everything. That's why we have to follow somebody else's theories. That's why whatever we talk about, we have to talk about what somebody else talked about first. Like, for example, psychology class. Whenever you talk about somebody's mind, you have to reference Freud, Marx, and many, many more. So that tells me that the system isn't set up for you to think for yourself. It's set up for you to follow the leader, and basically sets you up for the world of
gather along with the other sheep and be led to slaughter. Basically, now that's a little tangent, but we'll keep moving.
So the experience knowledge is the second most important, because you have to be able to actually go through something to be able to talk about it confidently. And this applies to everything. Now, experience knowledge is very, very important, because that's the real skills, and that's how somebody can actually make like a positive change. And the example that I like to think about is like, I would rather trust a doctor with no medical diploma that's been doing surgery for 30 years as opposed to somebody fresh out of medical school. Yeah, they know all the proper terminology and this and that, but somebody who has done something through trial and error has made those mistakes, so that by the time they get to you, I feel bad for everybody else, but by the time they get to you, they're pretty refined. You know what I mean? And the most important, to me at least, is spiritual knowledge, or your intuition, because that is the number one source of all knowledge. And there's so many anecdotal examples of people talking about how they just knew something based on just a feeling, and that feeling is the intuition. So once somebody really refines that, you really don't have to learn anything from school or any book knowledge, because you're just gonna know. So the next obvious question would be, how would one expand their intuition, or how would one expand their ability to gather knowledge from their intuition? The response to that is meditate with intent and write down your dreams and write down all the signs, because once you understand what to look for, because God and the universe, spirits, whatever, they're all talking to you constantly. Say if you're thinking something and then you look at the clock and you see something like 333, that is an angelic sign. Like, they speak to you through numbers, they speak to you through other people. Just look for the signs, and then once you start to see enough signs based on the thoughts that you're having, you'll know that your intuition is on the right path, and that you don't need to do anything else because you already know the answer. The signs are basically just confirming your thoughts to let you know that you actually know what you're talking about. So try it out. Try it out for a single month. Like, when you want to find the answer to something, ask yourself, like, what is the answer to this? And then you'll be surprised what answer actually comes up. And most of the time, like, the people with the refined intuition or intuitive skills, they get answers to everything in life, even math problems. I know, me personally, I need to work on the math intuitive side, because I suck at math, but it's what it is. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about it.